joining us for our webinar on the Secure Act. Joining me today is Pat Mydell, our chairman of the board. Hey Pat, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Dee.
I appreciate it. So today we're really going to be concentrating on how the Secure Act impacts individuals and families. So Pat, let's start with what the Secure Act is and when it was enacted.
Well, the Secure Act was enacted December 20th of last year. A lot of people didn't even notice. It was right before Christmas, and then we had COVID, and who's been thinking about laws, you know? But the Secure Act came about, I really think, because we are living longer, and a lot of people are having to work longer, and they're having to find out that, gosh, they have not put away as much as they think they need for retirement. So this is an encouragement for people to reassess their retirement plans and perhaps nudge them to maybe take some accountability for saving more.
Wow. So one of the things that we talked about was the changes in the retirement contribution ages.
Well, the change to the Secure Act just really encourages what we already have known. If you are working, you still are entitled to put money away into a retirement plan, whether it's an IRA or 401k. And that's been the case always. But I think individuals, because we kind of think about Social Security when the times are when you can take your money, a lot of people have a kind of a sense of finality and they go, oh, well, I can get full benefits at 66. I can wait till 70, and at 70 then I have to start drawing. And a lot of people think that those are the ages, and after that, you don't save anymore. And that's just not true. So as long as you're working, you are entitled to put money away into an IRA or a 401k, whatever plan, and wherever you're working, what they do offer for you. So.
And it doesn't matter whether you're a part-time worker, if they offer that benefit to a part-time worker, you would be able to do that, or if you were a full-time worker.
Like part-time, full-time, if the company doesn't have a plan, you still can put money away into an IRA.
Oh, into an IRA. So we also discussed the RMDs, or required minimum distributions, and how that has changed as well.
Well, a lot of people don't understand about an RMD is that it required minimum distribution used to be, until the Secure Act, you had to start drawing at 70 and a half. And if you didn't take your money then, we failed to do that. Then you, not only did you pay taxation, but you had a 50% penalty on the amount you should have withdrawn. I've only had that happen in my career once where somebody forgot. But now, rather than 70 and a half, they pushed it through the Secure Act to age 72. So that's a benefit.
So that's a benefit. And then you also said that this year there was kind of a stay of execution in having to take.
Yeah, because of COVID-19, that's been passed that this year you can skip your RMD if you so desire and not take it at all. And for many people, if they've already taken it, but it's within that 60-day window, then they can put it back in. Another little caveat to this is that normally you can't take a required minimum distribution and then take that dollar amount and put it into a Roth IRA. But I'm finding that some people are saying, wait a minute, there's a little benefit here. If I don't have to have an RMD, I could take my money out of my IRA, pay my tax, and then put it into a Roth IRA. And a Roth, of course, is after-tax dollars, accumulating tax-free, but when it comes back out, it's totally tax-free. So a lot of people are kind of looking, maybe there's a little window here. I could set up a little teeny bucket of money and let it just grow over the next several years tax-free. So that kind of a choice that you've got, for this year only.
That's great. And then one of the biggest things we discussed, or the most interesting to me, was the changes in the inheritance rules, as well as the defined contribution distributions, right? Am I saying that correctly?
I think the distribution rules are major. In fact, this was a disappointment to me with the Secure Act because we all know that if you've got a retirement plan, you have named beneficiaries. and you have a primary beneficiary and a contingent beneficiaries, and you can name all these people, you know, as many people as you would like. Grandchildren, you know, children, spouse. Nothing has changed with this law if it's a spouse beneficiary. The spouse inherits the money and they start taking money based upon their required minimum distribution, based upon their actuarial age. And they might take it for 20, 25 years.
Right.
But if it's a contingent beneficiary, if it's going to be someone other than a spouse, there is only a 10-year window. And that money has to be paid out in 10 years. Now, in some cases, as a financial planner, I look at that and I go, wow, you know, if I'm leaving money to my kids, for example, and they're making pretty decent money or not, whatever, but if they get money on top of their earnings, because IRAs come out as ordinary income, you get taxed as ordinary income, not capital gains or anything like that.
Okay.
Ordinary income, it's possible that that money on top of what they're earning may just throw them into another higher tax bracket. So it's kind of important to look at, you know, what are we planning? What kind of dollars are we looking at over that 10-year period? I understand the government wants taxation money. And with everything that they've spent, they certainly need it at this point.
Right.
But we also need to take care of home and our families. And so I think it behooves everybody to take a look at what does that lack of the stretch IRA do for your planning in terms of your children and the next generation. What you thought you were going to do might not even be feasible.
Yeah, so that's a huge change, because it used to be that they could stretch that out over their lifetime.
2
and take the
generations.
money out.
Sometimes 2 generations.
Wow. And now it's like 10 years, you have to have it all out.
It has to be out.
Yeah, so that is something people really need to strategize and talk to their wealth advisor about.
Well, especially if what your goal was to leave an estate. Or, I don't know about your kids, but sometimes children are not, they don't have pension funds anymore. They're left with whatever they're able to save. And sometimes that's not easy for families. And so we want to sometimes leave some money for them.
Right.
But when we do that, we have to realize there is just a window for them as well. And we have to have some really good thinking going on if it's going to be a long-range plan.
Wow, that's
10 years isn't long.
That's not very long, right?
It's an eye blink, really.
Wow, that's amazing in my mind, because that is a huge change that maybe is just not a positive, you know. So in my mind, as I look at the Secure Act and things that we've talked about, that there are so many changes that people are unique, as you said.
Well, they're as unique as their fingerprint. And that's why we can't make generalized statements. We can tell you a little bit about the rules, but it's really behooves everybody, I think, at this crux of our lives, with everything that's been going on with COVID and the Secure Act change, and possibly change of administration, which means change in taxation laws down the road. I think it's a good time to do a reassessment. I think it's a good time to sit down and get a plan and figure out, where are you and where are you going, and what information do you lack to make sound judgments.
Decisions.
Yeah.
So if your wealth advisor hasn't talked to you about the Secure Act and strategies and protections that you can put in place for you and your family, you should make sure and talk to them and get an appointment and sit down. If you don't have a wealth advisor, Pat, we're offering free hour consultations to people.
Yes, ma'am.
So we can really educate them on all of these things, and also second opinions if they want us to look at a portfolio. So you can register for those free consultations on our website at www.financialhealth.com. Or you can call our office and we'd be more than happy to schedule that for you at 775-332-7000. And we have 2 more webinars in this series, because there's other changes for employers and those types of things. So we hope you go to our website and register for those webinars as well. And we want to thank you for listening. We hope this was valuable information. And Pat, I can't thank you enough.
You're welcome, my pleasure.